What's going on, you guys? My name is Morgan and welcome to my channel. This channel is called Toxic Traits, and I made this channel because I am a victim of toxic situations, toxic families in my family and in my spouse's family. My mother was a DV victim that let her her assailant continue to manipulate, and I'm trying to find words that aren't the A word because I still want this to be friendly for people that need it, and I'm trying not to use words that could get it taken down. So I'm doing my best to really, get into details and really be specific here, especially in situations where I feel like I have to talk about this because this channel is about being around toxic family and toxic individuals. So I'm doing my best to really, talk about it and really be specific about it. I met my husband back in 2020. No, actually, it was before 2020. We got married in 2020 in August. We had met long before that, and our wedding was very quick. I didn't have any family I wanted involved, but it got me out of my toxic situation and the manipulation and the A word that I don't want to use because I don't know how YouTube would react to it. The mistreatment. My dachshund Dot was severely mistreated, and she was denied care. She was denied vet care that could have saved her life for over 8 years, maybe a little bit less, because once I got my own checks and I could afford it, I started taking care of her and I did as much as I could to pay for her medication and her vet visits, which got very, very expensive as her condition got worse, and she had heart failure. She had a heart murmur, and then it turned into congestive heart failure due to refusal of medication on my parents' fault, because they believed that the vet was trying to rip me off and scam me, that Dot did not have a heart murmur. So that was what was believed. Right now, I am 25. I will be 26 next March. I lived with my parents until I was 21. And on my 21st birthday, even on my 18th birthday, compared to my brothers, it was what matters about her 18th birthday, what matters about her, who cares. On my 18th birthday, I slept in my car. I slept in my car with Dot because my father was angry with me because I had not done what he wanted me to at the time and had given me very little time to do it. And so it was, why does her 18th birthday matter? On my 21st birthday, it was all about my brother. And so my boyfriend at the time, took me out for lunch, and they were upset that I was spending so much time with him. Even when I took Dot, they made me choose between him and them, which I chose him, and now we've been married for almost 5 years. My mother was a DV victim, and we were in foster care for a very long time. Well, okay, it wasn't a very long time. It was a short amount of time. Short enough to leave a scar and an everlasting memory that I will never forget. Dachshunds have become my comfort, my emotional support, my service animals. Despite the fact that they are always at home, so I guess you could say emotional support, but Rue and Fuzzy and Dot had been trained for my panic attacks and my PTSD and my depression, my manic depression. We are in the process of training Rue, who has become what I lost in Dot. I love my dogs, but Rue made me think that she was an incarnation of Dot, despite being a brindle dachshund. Ruby is trained in my panic attacks and my PTSD. Fuzzy is also trained in my panic attacks. Fuzzy is also trained in my panic attacks and my PTSD and my depression, my manic depression, and among other things that I have him trained for. He's trained for deep pressure therapy, as is Rue. And Fuzzy is trying to actually alert my husband when I have a fainting spell or anything happens. He will actually alert my husband. I fell in the shower and he had to alert my husband. I had told him call Daddy, and Fuzzy was in his kennel at the time, so he started barking trying to get my husband. I was in the opposite room, but luckily everything was all right. I like having a majority of my dogs trained to me with my mental illnesses and the problems that I have, which also includes my scoliosis, which has gotten worse. I like having most of my dogs trained to that because you never know who I'm going to take with me, and you never know who is more set up for it. I'm working on training the bigger dogs like Cookies and Cream to my certain situations, especially my PTSD. But I made this channel to assist others that there is a way out, and to tell my story to others, because I feel like it's important for you to hear somebody else's story so you are able to persevere over the circumstances. Dot was severely, I don't know if dogs like have PTSD. I know dogs know when they're being, when they're being mistreated. Saying aid is horrible. It just makes no sense. But the dogs know when they're being mistreated. But it becomes a way of life for them. But Dot was mistreated very terribly until I moved out of my home. And then she became the queen of everything. I have her urn in here and her paw print. But anyways, I think the main reason I made this channel was for other people who maybe are young like I was. It started, I remember my first memory of my dad's mistreatment was when I was very, very young. I don't remember my age, but I was young. And we lived, because I know where we lived at, and at that time I was between a baby and, well, I wasn't a baby because I could walk, a baby and maybe 6. And I think I was probably about 4. At the time. And my dad had chased my mom out of the house, and my dad was giving my brother a bath. He was very young. My brother's 2 years younger than me, so he was a baby at the time. And my grandmother, who was she mistreated us, and she was very, very horrible, especially towards me. My brother was her golden grandchild. I remember so many stories. And he had chased my mom off, and my grandmother came over and said they need a mother. And I was bawling, and she told my dad, let her go get her, make her come back. And that was the first experience I had, and the first memory I have of the mistreatment towards my mom. And it didn't get bad until we moved away from there. It was bad at that time anyways, but it didn't get real bad until we had no one in the house with us. No family. My grandfather used to step in the middle of the fighting, and he has passed on now. He passed probably over 10 years ago. I was a lot younger than 15 at the time, so probably more than 10 years. But after that, the mistreatment got 10 times worse and affected us a lot more. But I made this channel for you watching if you need this. So I hope you stay tuned for story times and Q&As and tips and tricks and advice and much more. And just sometimes you need somebody to listen. So I'd like to do maybe like live streams where we have people come in and talk, and we have like this quiet room. But thank you guys so much for watching and hearing just a brief part of my story. So thank you guys so much for watching, and as usual, you guys, I'll see you guys next time in the next video. See you guys later.